Are you gonna stick that down my shirt? Yeah, you are. Cool. All right. So I went to Dancing with the Stars, which is filmed at the CBS Studios in Los Angeles, with my sister-in-laws and Nana. And so many things triggered me that whole night. And I just wanted to lay out my entire experience. Take this experience with a grain of salt, though. I don't want you to have hurt expectations about your future endeavors going into a studio audience member experience, and maybe you had a better experience, or maybe you had an experience like ours. So leave it in the comments below, and let me know what your stories are. I would like to know. But yeah, this is like my millionth time being in the studio audience, and so many mixed emotions. Let me tell you. Let's go from start to finish. First of all, I got the tickets off of on-camera audiences. I don't know what day they released the tickets, but the only tip I can give you is if you want to go to a show like this, is check the website daily. Check it daily and check it early in the morning as possible, because sometimes these tickets go like hotcakes, so you have a very small window to try to grab your tickets. I guess that's the only tip I have to give you guys if you want to go. I mean, I've been to plenty, and I like to share my experiences just because, I like to share my experiences for the rant and for the content, and to maybe shed some light on people that want to go. Our ticket said to be there by 3 o'clock. We got there at 2. They were very prompt, actually, in the beginning. On-camera audiences got us into the studio shortly after we got into line. I mean, it was like minutes after 2 o'clock, and they were letting people into the studio. The security process getting in is kind of lengthy. They have metal detectors, they do a bag check, and with this particular show, and it's different with any show you go to, they made us check in our phones. It's like ticket system, so they attach a ticket to your phone and you get your ticket, and then they just match up the numbers at the end to the corresponding phone. Pretty simple. So we didn't have our phones going into the studio, which is cool. Once we got to the waiting area outside the sound stage, we're lined up by bench, and that corresponded to the order in which they brought the audience members in, which was cool. That was the longest waiting period, was waiting to get into the studio. That's always like the hurry up and wait part, is getting us all outside the sound stage. We had plenty of time to use the bathrooms, and then what I liked about this particular taping is they did record live for the East Coast, so they had to start promptly. So they recorded at 5 p.m. and they were done promptly in 2 hours, which is really cool, because with some of the other shows, it's like sometimes you're there for like 3 or 4 hours, especially the sitcoms, because they can film and refilm. But the cool thing about the live shows are, they record it live, start to finish. There's no messing up, and they're very prompt with that. So I like that. So once we got into the studio, it was actually kind of hectic because they were filming something for the finale, and they actually moved some of us to fill the seats of the VIP section. So we were actually on the sound stage, or on the stage level, like right near the stage. And what's cool is they were announcing that it was for the finale, and it was someone big and iconic. And who was it? It was Cher! Cher, oh my god, was right. Like, we were in like the second and third rows. We were separated a little bit, but we were in the second and third rows filling in seats for VIP. And oh my god, Cher was right there performing. and it was amazing. Oh my gosh. Like, I think we made eye contact. That was so great. But yeah, that was a great experience, a wonderful surprise. I wasn't even expecting. Livy, don't do that. I wasn't even expecting that, so that was amazing. But then, after that particular performance, Livy, no. But then, after that particular performance, we were quickly told to get up, and we were escorted up the stairs. So, I don't know if you've ever seen Dancing with the Stars, but there is a balcony, and then there's a top balcony. So there's 3 levels of audience members. We were escorted, well, we were directed to go all the way up to the top. But once we got to the top of the stairs, there was no other direction whatsoever. Like, the organization skills went out the window. It was already packed up there. Everyone was up against the balcony railing, and there was no room for however many people were escorted up the stairs. A gentleman that I think was working for CBS or for the show saw us and was kind of confused, and he was like, is an on-camera audience person with you guys? And we were like, nope, we were just told to go all the way up to the top. So he quickly accommodated as much as he could. We were at one of the corners of the balcony, so if you're like looking down at the stage, we're at the very top, like right hand corner. So we had this little corner to ourselves. We were kind of cramped to begin with, but whatever, that's cool. Sadly, on-camera audiences decided to overfill, and they brought they kept bringing more audience members up the stairs, and I was just like, why? I mean, there were people literally watching the show over our shoulders, and one, it was uncomfortable, and second, like, it wasn't fair to them, because not only do we have to stand the whole time minus commercial breaks, but now now you have to watch the entire show over someone's shoulder, which was not cool. So it was just all over the place. On top of that, the show fluffer, I don't even remember what the correct term is, but I call them fluffers. The show fluffer was very rude to us. So a show fluffer is someone who just gets the audience going, tells them when to up the clapping and the screaming, and tells us when to, calm it down, and just keeps us awake during the whole thing. I had no problem being rowdy, but at one point I just gave up as an audience member because there were items being given out for audience to participate. There was this giant light up foam wand, and then there were these little finger lights that kind of acted as like a phone light, or like holding up your lighter, that sort of thing. And the whole night, we didn't get any of these items. I mean, they were very inconsistent with accommodating the very top balcony for those items. We all raised our hands saying we didn't get finger lights, and my sister-in-law yells down to the fluffer, like, come up to the balcony. And he straight up was like, I'm not going up there. And I was just like, oh, excuse you? Like, we're already like audience members standing for 2+ hours. Oh shoot. We're already no, Olivia, no. And I was just like, oh heck no. Heck no. Like, don't treat us like crap just because we're on the very top balcony. Like, that's very unprofessional. Like, totally like uncalled for. So yeah. On-camera audiences was very all over the place and disorganized. They overbooked and overcrowded the audience members, or the studio audience. Usually they turn people away and say they're at capacity, so then other studio audience members are comfortable. And with this night, I don't know if like they just wanted to be accommodating, they smashed us all in there, and it was very uncomfortable. And I just was not happy with that fluffer. Usually they're very sweet and very accommodating. This guy was very rude to us, and that does not fly with me. The show itself was cool. So many awesome celebrities there. James Vanderbeek and Kel Mitchell and Lauren Elena. We all yelled at them from up top, and we got them to wave at us. Joey Fatone was a guest judge, and my favorite part was we all yelled, "Joey!" And he was like, he looked up at us and was like, "People!" Very awesome show. The dancing was amazing. The judges looked great. Carrie Ann is so pretty and so gorgeous. And at one point, Tom Bergeron and Erin Andrews were on the second balcony, and so they were a little closer to us in view. We yelled down to Tom, and Tom was actually very sweet, and he said hi to all of us, and he's like, "How are you guys doing?" And of course we were like, "Yeah, we're very good." So yeah, I mean, I had to take everything with a grain of salt. Despite all the disorganization and the chaos that on-camera audiences brought to the table, I focused on the positive. I mean, we were surrounded by amazing performances, and there were awesome celebrities out there. We got to see frickin' Cher. I was a seat filler. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's not going to show until the finale, which is like a few weeks from now. But yeah, that was my entire experience. That's it. It's all empty. That was my entire experience. I don't know. I keep getting tickets from on-camera audiences, and still, like, there are just some moments where I ask myself why, because they are probably understaffed, overworked, and underpaid, because you get that vibe from them. Like, overall, pretty good experience. Aside from, like, being really crowded. If you want to hear more of my studio audience stories, or if you want more tips, just let me know in the comments below, and I will see what I can pull from my memory. I've been to so many of these, and I want everyone to just kind of know what they're going in for. But of course, like I said in the beginning, take my review as just my personal experience, and if you plan on being a studio audience member for a show, do it. It's fun. It's great. It's extra work. It's like being an extra in a film, without being paid and credited, if you know what I mean. You put in a lot of energy being in the audience, and sometimes you even end up on camera. It's fun. Bear in mind, different studios have different rules. Different studios accommodate people differently. So just keep that in mind. But I hope you enjoyed my story time. And I'll see you next time. I don't know what's next on my agenda on studio audience adventures, but we'll see. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.